Hi Gemini, welcome to your October monthly reading. And you know what, I filmed Aquarius last night and it is almost identical. It's a lot of the same major themes. Slight variations with you though. I feel like while Aquarius, from what I saw yesterday, they're a lot more focused on like big picture type of stuff. You're more focused on your finances. You're more focused on, yes, attaining a dream, but also making that dream work for you in terms of money. And I do see that happening, especially, I want to say, the second half of the month. You are definitely more love focused than Aquarius was, but at the same time, I also feel like you have this guard up. You do have choices. I see you kind of conflicted between letting someone in or moving in a direction of this new person you probably have met. You got a lot of major arcanas as well. You showed up almost immediately twice. So we got the Magician to start off the spread, which is you. And then to end out the first half of the month, the Lovers showed up. I won't even pull it out. Both those cards represent Gemini. The Magician to me is more majorly Gemini energy because it's Mercury. It's about using intellect to manifest, and I think that is where you're starting out the month for October. You're also very, very calculated because that's also what the Magician card is to me. You're almost like laser focused on achieving a certain thing. We got a lot of sword cards here too. Oh, we got 3 sword cards come up. You're trying to find a balance between fantasizing about something and then also being realistic. And yeah, it's a lot of goals here, a lot of inner strength and inner fire that you just don't know where to direct it. So I will pull the cards down, or I'm sorry, I'll pull the camera down so you'll see what I see. And yeah, like I said, you really don't have like a concrete plan in place, but you do know what you want. It's almost like having a destination in mind but no map to get there. And that's the energy of this whole month for you. But you do start off with some form of regret with this Four of Swords. Yes, it's rest, it's relaxation, but it's also regrouping. So I feel like September is, because we're still in September, believe it or not. It's a chaotic month for all of us. It's some of us it's physically, some of us emotionally, but for you I feel like it's been both, especially with this card here. So you could even be like physically recovering after getting sick. And I like that it came up with the Magician though, because whatever this is that has you in rest mode, it kind of made you familiar with who you are, because again, this is you. So, and these 2 cards came out together, so I see it as one. I take this as you're getting back to yourself. If this was heartache induced, then I'm seeing this as you're realizing what you're made of and you're manifesting a whole new reality from what occurred here, especially since the wheel clarified both of them. This might even be a spiritual awakening, and you're just combining your thoughts, your emotions, and I want to say your mind, your energy, your intellect, and you're combining that and trying to figure out how can you use all your skill sets to get what it is that you want. I also see this, especially with the Four of Swords here too, you're kind of evaluating your place in the world. I'm getting during this resting period, you probably came to the realization that you weren't really satisfied with your life, and I think you're trying to process where it is you need change. So this could be regretting using your intellect in a way that maybe wasn't ethical, and that's where some of the similarities to Aquarius started, because that was a big theme for them too. Karma is pretty latched on to certain signs this year, and I'm guessing it's probably Aquarius, Gemini. I know Libra had that same theme too. Air signs are getting it pretty heavy in general. So the thing about the Magician though, his morality is kind of skewed because this is someone very logical, and it's someone also very rooted in the metaphysical but also the physical. So morals really don't have a place in that. And I think Mercury is so intellectual that you use intellect instead of as your starting point instead of doing the right thing. So I think this physical setback here, it kind of led to a mental one, and now you're just refocusing on getting stronger willpower, because Mercury is will. This is willpower, and it's in its essence. This is manifesting in its essence. So this is you evaluating your actions and seeing how they led to you getting here. Again, Aquarius had a really similar theme. So you probably have Aqua in your chart, and if you do, look at what house it's in, because then that's how it's affecting you. My Saturn is in Aquarius, so Saturn again is the planet of karma. So there were themes that I felt too with that Aquarius reading. But right after that is where ambition comes into play. So it's almost like, yeah, you had this resting period. You've gone stronger, or you've gotten stronger. You come to terms with who you are, and now it's all about your goals, all about your money. That's the key word for you in October, ambition. You have your head in the clouds, but at the same time, you're just in a prime manifesting energy, especially starting off the spread with the magician. You're... I do like that the star came out as the clarifier, because ambition is nothing without physical evidence of I mean, it's almost like, yeah, you have a dream in mind, but you feel more motivated when you see progress. And I feel like the star is just divine intervention and giving you little pieces along the way of showing you that, yeah, you're so close. You're really on the right path here. I do think that after recovering and getting this divine confirmation, you're realizing what kind of life you want to live, because this Page of Pentacles could be, at least how I read it, it could be someone that didn't grow up wealthy, because pages are children or childlike energy, and the Suit of Pentacles, of course, is wealth. So sometimes this shows up as someone who, didn't grow up wealthy but was exposed to wealth, and you have that mentality of trying to make it. So being exposed to wealth through other people inspired you to create it for yourself, which is King of Pentacles energy. The King of Pentacles is someone who's self-made, who, their backstory doesn't matter, because right now they're extremely successful. And the Star card is just your wish. So this is something that you really, really have your eye on. You're not just focused on XYZ, you also are trying to change your whole entire life. This Star card, though, it could also mean spotlight. It can also mean fame. And that can be the means through which this happens for you. This could be the means through which your life changes. But either way, you have some really good stuff coming financially, because the page, or pages in general, that signifies news, or news coming toward you. So look out for, prospects in the mail, either written or phone calls, or just people that want to collaborate with you, because you got a lot of duality cards. You got the Lovers, you got the Two of Cups. Not so much else. I mean, I saw a lot while pulling cards at the bottom of the deck. So partnerships are going to be a big thing for you in business, and they're going to be your ace into getting that goal that you have your mind set on. But I will say about the Star card and the Magician card coming out so soon, if you haven't already had or created a game plan or a specific list of things you want to accomplish, I would definitely do so now, because when this starts happening for you, you kind of want to be prepared for it. This doesn't seem like energy here of you just being able to wing it. Of course, don't be so focused, don't be so strict on what it is you want to happen, but at least have certain guidelines. And again, too, the Star card was at the bottom of the deck for you here. It showed up as a clarifier here. Similar energy for Aquarius, and this is their card. So I do want to say similar themes to where you may find yourself being really magnetic in the month of October. A lot of eyes on you, a lot of people just being drawn to you and wanting to be in your presence and hear what you have to say. The Star card to me as well is just people, you have a glow about you. The Star is just a warm, healing energy, and it's almost divine. So when that shows up in a spread twice, that means it's going to be really intense. So both you and Aqua have that coming toward you this month. I should also say again a lot of divine cards with the wheel, the world, the star twice. So I wouldn't be so down. If you are in a period right now where you're feeling pessimistic, just know that the changes are going to be sudden and they're going to be out of your control. So there's really no need to try to force yourself to try or overwork yourself, because I also do see certain energies here of the possibility of you having or being tempted to overwork yourself, especially with this Four of Swords, because this is relaxation, this is needing to take a break after being overwhelmed. After all that, because we start off the spread pretty intensely with spirituality and career and goals and divinity and in terms of timing and dream fulfillment, I think love pretty much takes over here. And it comes up pretty intensely with these two cards. We got the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands. Two eights in a reading too, so that's pretty important. Of course, the traditional meaning of this card is you're going to get contact, you're going to get a message. But from this Eight of Cups, I do feel like it's going to be from someone that you've already walked away from or you've already parted ways from. Or you can even be feeling the need to contact them yourself. So I think in general, whatever ending was here, it was just the need of wanting better, of not being fulfilled. And I do see you moving forward. So, and both the energy of both these cards is walking away, walking towards something. This one more from something towards something, and then this is just heavy raining down energy. So, I do feel like you will hear from someone from your past, and it's going to be a definite, especially the first half of the month. But that past connection, it could have been with somebody that you really don't need to rekindle things with, especially if you've already decided to walk away. You've got the Lovers right next to you, so I do feel like you have new love coming in. If you don't even have it, you could possibly have it already. So the advice here, I do feel like you should stick with something, whichever makes you feel more fulfilled, whichever fits the new you that came out of the beginning of the spread, because after your rest period you kind of came out stronger, more spiritual. So avoid any shallow connections, and that includes friends, that includes jobs. You're gonna find yourself just moving about and just, I don't want to say floating through life, but you're gonna be experiencing things in a much more detached way this month. And I also feel like that's intentional on your end. I kept getting the energy of you not wanting to open up to just about everyone. Even though, ironically, again, with the star, people are still going to be drawn to you, if that makes sense. So, another aside with these two cards as well, given that it probably is with someone from your past, with Mercury in retrograde coming up too, that's a given. I would be weary of getting into arguments. I would be wary of falling for the bait, because fiery energy here with the Wands cards. So, if things don't go well initially, or if conversations don't pan out the way a certain someone hopes, it could get heated, it could turn into arguments, and it could just be more negative energy coming towards you that you don't need. Yeah, I feel the energy here too of just, you've already released this person, so there really is no need to go backward. But I also feel like some of you will, especially with this Lovers card here. And the Lovers came out with this Six of Swords, so you have a lot of movement this month. I do feel like there's temptation here with this Lovers card, and again, this is you. This is the second card that represents Gemini coming up. So this is a very you-focused spread. You're showing up in your own life, and I think it goes with the theme of you being more in control now. But when it comes to this past person, it doesn't look like you're in that much control, because again, you're very tempted, you're very intrigued by them. And the Six of Cups was at the bottom of the deck when I pulled these. So we got two sixes with these. And I do feel like it's something that feels innocent, or it started with innocent intentions, and it's turning into something more physical. So the Lovers too is a temptation that could possibly be physically acted upon. And it's also trying to overcome aspects of yourself that led you to making certain decisions in the first place, there's really the energy here of almost physically removing yourself away from things and from people that put you in a less evolved place. But for some of you, the people that resonated with someone that is taking back someone from their past, I'm reading this as there's a person that just really has a hold on you, and every time you engage with them, you're confused. Because the Six of Swords is scattered energy. It's not being able to think cohesively. It's not knowing what action you should take. And yes, it is traveling, and yes, it is moving on from something possibly, but it's only because there's so much confusion there and you're just trying to go somewhere stable. So whoever this is, every time you engage with them, you just don't know where you stand. You have really deep, big conversations, but nothing comes of it. Probably a lot of false promises, etc. So the Six of Swords is just you really needing to distance yourself until you're in a place where that effect on you isn't the same anymore. And I think the key is to just remember all the goals you have here, because ambition, again, is your major theme this month. The key is not to try to attain a person, but rather a change in yourself. And that change is going to bring about, the love you seek, the money you seek, the career you seek. If you switch from attaining your ambitions to trying to attain this one person that is always unattainable, that's always so hard to pin down, so hard to read, you're going to be stuck in this Six of Swords space. You're going to be stuck in this Four of Swords space. And this change that's coming to you, or that you're probably in the process of already, it feels like it's a financial one, a spiritual one, and an emotional one. For others, there's a bit of a love triangle going on here, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I do feel like you're in the midst of getting to know a new person, and then this old person resurfaces, and you kind of have a decision to make. The truth, though, is you can't divide your energies, which is what this card is, between two people long term. So the sooner you decide, definitely the better for yourself, too, because it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of distractions trying to, divvy up yourself between two people and trying to figure out, well, who's gonna be the perfect person for me. The truth is you can only make that decision, and you really can't string two people along. And again, that goes with the Magician card and the skewed morality and trying to stay on the right side of things too. Following that, though, is the Moon. So the Moon next to the Two of Cups is pretty interesting. I feel like you're in the shadow period of your life, and you're withholding a bit, like I keep saying. There's this wall up, almost toward everyone in your life. And I keep mentioning the irony of you getting the star so many times, which is just people being drawn to you, but you're just not really wanting to accept that. Even if you do want some slight fame, there's a barrier. Like, you don't want certain people to go past certain places, if that makes sense. So I feel like, especially with this World card, it's like you're battling two different energies. The Moon is kind of hidden behind the Sun. Even though it's still very bright and it glows and everyone looks at it, the Sun is always still a big part of the Moon, if that makes sense. I feel like that analogy doesn't really work here, but it kind of fits for me. I do see this card too sometimes as shadow work, so if that's not something you've done yet, I would definitely start to do it. During the full moon is great. I tend to be more about releasing during full moons and trying to bring things into me. So if that's something you agree with, I would definitely try to do some releasing rituals during the full moon, since we have 2 this month. I mentioned the same thing in Aquarius's video. But I also see this as it's almost easier for you to focus on your work, because leaving yourself vulnerable right now is so hard. If you're resonating with the storyline of choosing between two people, I see this card as avoidance as well, and kind of shrugging that situation under the rug. I do get the sense that you're scared for someone new to come and get to know you. The Moon is known as secrets, but also possible deception, and it is all that, but it can also be a mental or a psychic block here. Something or someone is really clouding your vision, or you're just doing it intentionally to yourself. And I feel like with the World card, you want this major freedom, you want all this abundance, but there's something from your past you're scared to see resurface. And you also don't want people to really have access to you like that, even if it comes with success. My only advice with these two cards is just to be extremely cautious of what you ingest mentally, like in terms of what you're reading, what you're watching, who you're listening to, who you're taking advice from. And there's just something in your immediate surroundings that isn't what it seems. It could be a person, it could be a job offer, it could be a location. Like, let's say you're looking for an apartment and everything seems great, but there's just something you can't put your finger on. It's something along those lines. And I also see this as some form of enlightenment coming toward you in some way, but you just have to make sure that you're asking the right questions. So basically, this month, don't take anything at face value. But after that, like I said, the moon next to the Two of Cups. To clarify, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So with the energy here of so much money heading toward you, the Ace of Pentacles is a windfall of money. This is life-changing money. And again, don't look at it as dramatic, like winning the lottery or something. It's just, okay, well, let's say you had a really bad period. I mean, we're in a pandemic. So many people have lost their jobs. I see the Ace of Pentacles as something as small as, okay, now you have a job, or now you have a consistent income coming in after you had no idea what was going on. For you, though, I do see this because you had so many dream fulfillment cards coming up. I do see this as you being rewarded for prior work you've done. With this Two of Cups, it could be a possible merger, a possible business connection. With the Lovers card too, again, a lot of partnerships showing up here in this spread. You may either be inspired by someone you're dating or seeing, or you go into business with someone that you're dating or seeing. There's also the release here of whatever wall you had built up in regards to love and career. This is the card, of two souls joining together, while the Lovers is more of two bodies joining together. And in some cases, two mentalities, but it's not as, even though it is a major arcana card, it's not as spiritual to me as this card. I do kind of sense that you could have started something that was really lustful with this Lover's card, and then it turns out to be more spiritual, more love-based. But in regards to work, I definitely see you getting to a place where you're putting more of your heart into your projects instead of just being more detached like you probably started. There's still this waiting period, though. I don't know. I feel like you just still aren't satisfied, even though it's pretty obvious that good things are happening. It could be in regards to the secret that you feel like you're hiding, or whatever secret you feel like is being kept from you. I feel like it could apply in both ways to so many of you Geminis. But I do see that despite all the good things, there's something lingering there. And for those who felt like someone is close to them isn't telling the truth, I do see you digging a bit, or just kind of almost demanding the truth from someone. This Nine of Wands is defensive energy, and it's so weird. It came up as Aquarius's reading as well. So this is defensive energy, but it's also someone that is willing to take the extra step to protect themselves. And if you feel the need to protect yourself right now, even if you don't know why, I think it's really good, especially with the Moon card here, to follow that intuition and kind of see where it leads you, because it can lead you to the person that you're not meant to be trusting right now. This Page of Swords, it's spying, it's snooping, but it's also research. So let's say whatever person you're talking to, or whatever, it could even be a coworker, or a job, or a boss, or an institution that you feel like is just not being honest with you. This is you doing your research and kind of looking for receipts on your own end. The warning here too, especially with this Nine of Wands, is to make sure you're not too confrontational, because we have the 9 and the 8 of Wands here. Because that can kind of signify conversations going awry. So just think before you speak. Don't react too harshly. And if you hear something unpleasant, really get to the bottom of things before making assumptions. And do this immediately though, because I get the sense that whatever gut feeling you have, whatever feeling you get of uneasiness, it's better that you just take care of it so it doesn't jeopardize things you've achieved. While I was looking at these cards, though, I was reminded of a video I saw about the 24-48 rule, 48-hour rule. So there's a rule. there's I'll call it advice. Let's say you have some type of animosity or some type of conflict with someone. You give yourself 24 hours to really think about it, go over it before confronting this person. And then you give yourself another 48 to kind of, take time to figure out how you're going to confront this person. I hope I explained that right. I'll try to think of it more before the end of this reading, but I'm pretty sure that's it. The gist of it is just don't jump. Take care of this immediately, but don't jump head first in it. Come in with a plan, if that makes sense, because you got a lot of wand cards here. We got the full moon in Aries, which is a very fiery, confrontational sign. I do believe Mars is still in Aries right now. So everyone globally, all over the world right now, is kind of in this spot where things can get really, really not violent, but even, to be honest, potentially violent. So as a human being, as an individual, do your part to kind of not escalate things. I'm not seeing that it's going to be anything scary like that. I'm just seeing it's going to be more toxic. It's going to be more things that don't need to happen, and you really don't want anything to distract you right now. To end the spread, though, you got the 10 of Wands with the 7 of Cups in reverse. So this is really interesting because I feel like with the 7 of Cups in reverse, you have energy here of getting something off your chest or having something come to light. The 7 of Cups upright is being illusioned about something. And then in the reverse, it's being disillusioned. So whatever it is that you were worried about, you're going to find out by the end of the month. It looks like it's going to come together by Halloween, because that is when the last full moon is going to occur. I forget what sign it's in, though. I think it's Taurus. It's going to be a pretty big one. It's going to be a blue moon in Taurus. So Taurus, again, it's kind of a family energy, so I would also look into that as well. But possibly you release info that you've been holding in, because this is letting go of a burden. This is something you've been carrying for a while, and you release it because 10 is an ending. And if this is, I feel like it's either you're releasing it or someone is exposed to you. This could be your past person, and in that happening, the burden of you having to choose between two people, that kind of gets taken care of, because it's like, all right, you know what? I finally see this person for who they finally are. Finally, after months of back and forth or years of back and forth. With the 6 of Swords, like I mentioned, if you were someone that just constantly left you confused and you just never knew where you stood, the 7 of Cups is that ending, and you finally seeing things without those rose-colored glasses. I think you're done stalling. I think you're done fantasizing, and you're headed towards someone with a lot more stability. And I think this person is probably going to be a lot more responsible and more all in than whoever it is that you were undecided about. Sorry, I just had to fix that. I do think that you need to get out of a lack mentality if that is a thing for you. Whatever setback happens, don't let it slow you down, because you did have the 5 of Pentacles at the bottom of my clarifier deck. But next to the star card, so I don't think that anything is going to stop the goodness coming to you except yourself. And I'll end that there. I do want to pull a few oracle cards. If you've watched my channel, you know I like to end readings on those. This is my love oracle deck. I haven't used this in a while. It's a little bit basic, but it tends to get to the point. So I want to see where you're at love-wise this month of October already. Love-wise, things look pretty good for you, though, aside from you not being able to make a choice. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. I think that kind of coincides with just not making decisions without really thinking them through. And also, just because someone easy is in front of you or is presenting an offer, it doesn't mean you have to take it. Divine timing is not fast, or it doesn't feel fast. So anything that comes to you that looks a little too good to be true, really hold off on accepting it. And there we go. Longing, aching, pining, past love. So you really got someone coming in pretty heavy. The funny thing is, right after that was shallow, superficiality, boredom, blank. You're longing for something that's not really deep. Like I said, avoid shallow connections with people because it's really only going to hinder you. You have a lot of spiritual growth coming to you. If you're not even already in the process of it, it's coming toward you. So if you stay with shallow people, they're only going to hold you under as well. And I do want to do one more love oracle. I just got this in the mail today, so you're the first sign I'm using it for. I used the art oracle on my Libra video, but this one is a love oracle. And I really like this. I saw so many other readers using it on my Instagram, and I had to buy this deck. So this is just another love-based tarot. Okay, I'm curious because a lot of your reading was about finances. A lot of it was about spirituality, about like just changing your life, heading on a different path. The love stuff, it seems to be the typical story of someone from your past just waiting in the wings for you to accept them back. But again, you do definitely have new love coming, and it's going to be divinely timed because the star card twice, along with that worth waiting for card. Yeah, but overall, I would say your month is pretty significant. We'll see. You got Jackie Kennedy. Always be the first lady. Marry for love, for money, but most of all for companionships. Don't just take the picture, enter it. That's a lot there to unpack. But I do feel that again you're changing, you're upgrading in life. So you really can't go backward. Yes, you want to be with someone for love, for companionship, but you also want to be with someone that's right where you're at too. So yeah, money is a factor. I'm sorry. It's not like the most politically correct thing to say, but you know, it's not the only factor. Always be the first lady, be dignified, as I was saying about Mars in retrograde. No, I'm sorry. Well, Mars was in retrograde for a bit, but Mars is in Aries, and the full moon is in Aries as well. So the first lady, not gender specific, it's more about keeping your dignity and being really humble and not engaging, I don't want to say with peasants, but not engaging with people that just aren't on the same wavelength as you. So keep that dignity, marry or be with someone that has the same goals as you. They don't have to be super ambitious or super successful. They just have to at least have something they want. And yeah, just with the don't take the picture, enter it, that is star energy. So you can be detached. I talked about that in an Aquarius video. You can be a little, tease or leave people wanting more. But don't overdo it. Aquarius, I felt like they kind of had a handle on that. Aquarius is also known for being very detached in general. But Geminis are more the life of the party. So I would find a nice balance. Don't force yourself into situations you don't want to be in. Don't force yourself to hang out with people you don't want to. But get out there because you have a lot of star appeal this month. And it would be a shame to see it go to waste. You and Aquarius are very, very interesting. And I will leave that reading there. I have, per usual, all my socials in the description box. I have my Patreon link. Yeah, and I will be back probably for the middle of the month reading. I like to do 2 videos per sign. If you'd like a little bit more than that, please join my Patreon or follow my socials. And until then, stay happy, stay safe. Bye.